when you talk about a guy that we want in this organization, Ryan Kalil is a guy that checks all those boxes. Smart, tough, highly decorated player. 5-time Pro Bowler, 2-time first-team All-Pro. As good as he is on the field, he's an even better teammate, father, husband, brother. So we just couldn't be more excited to add Ryan.
How this happened?
Yeah, played 12 years in the NFL, and it's a lot of football. Contract expired in Carolina. It felt like the right time to move on, and I was coming off a couple injuries. Felt like I was slowing down, and then I sort of made the announcement to everyone in Carolina, including my teammates and coaches, that this was probably going to be the last one, and sort of forced myself to enjoy my time there and really soak it all in, and not take for granted how lucky I've been to play that long and play around so many great players and be around so many great coaches and people, and I'm so grateful for my time there, and so that we had that season, and moved back to California with my family. Started living the beach life a little bit, getting ingrained back in the community where I grew up, and March came around and I just started getting the itch again, and it just was such a to say it's done and make that such a definitive thing. It was so finite, and I had a hard time moving on. I had a hard time turning the page. I think most players go through this, but especially after coming off 2018, healthy, feeling great, feeling spry again. I just felt like I had more football, and by the time I sort of came around to collecting my thoughts and my feelings about it, it was already too late in Carolina. They moved on, and listen, the Panthers got a great player in Matt Paradis, so I'm excited for that group. I think I couldn't think of anybody better to take over that role, and it's an upgrade actually in a lot of ways for them. So they got the better end of that deal, and I'm just really, really excited that the timing of this worked out, and that Joe reached out to my agent, and I had a long conversation with Tom about this, and honestly, at the time, my plan was really I was going to start working out again the only way I really know how to work out, which is train for a football season, and that helped sort of get the bug back again and wanting to play, and the plan was I was going to maybe stay ready and see if there was an opportunity somewhere where I could fill in, and the opportunity came here in New York, and I just got really excited, and Joe and my agent were talking, and at one point I got to get on the phone and talk with Joe, and I just really liked what he had to say, and we talked a lot about offensive line play, obviously, we talked about the teams I've been on in Carolina, and the teams he'd been on in Philly and Baltimore, and what we felt. What we talked a lot about what made a winning team, and what I told Joe was the best teams I've been on had a really good balance of young experience and old experience, and so we both felt strongly that I could help out in that regards, that I could bring some of my experience here and help out in a few different facets. So there's a lot of people mad at me in Carolina right now, rightfully so, but I love that place. I'd heard some rumblings that something happened with me in the organization, and none of that's true. I don't know why. I just felt the need to get the blessing of a lot of different people. So I called a lot of my former teammates in Carolina. I called Coach Rivera. I called John Matsko. I talked to Jordan Gross, who I played with a long time. I don't know why. I just needed to talk to all these guys: Greg Olson, Christian McCaffrey, Luke Kuechly. Even the athletic trainers over in Carolina, Ryan Vermillion. I even thought about calling Nick Mangle because I've known Nick a long time. So that was kind of weird. And I don't know why I felt like I needed his blessing, but I decided not to call him because there was a 1% chance he was going to Ric Flair me and tell me that he did not approve. So I decided not to call him. But I've been talking with Nick for the last week now, and he's been so great. So big shoes to fill around here.